Let's take a closer look at Yamdu's access rights that was briefly mentioned in our crew list tutorial. As we already know, this feature will allow us to grant or limit access to the users involved in a project. And this actually won't be including any external contacts, as although they are part of a project, they aren't as heavily involved in it, and they won't be granted access to the project. Now, let's just do a quick overview of what we know about the access rights so far. We learned that when inviting a new user, we are required to assign a position to that user, and we see that there are default access rights for that position. Now, we can always toggle through the various options to grant, limit, or revoke access to the different elements available within the project. And right before we finish inviting the user, we can actually jump into the advanced settings to set a time limit for how long the user will have access to the project. And this is especially helpful for users who won't be involved in the project for its entire duration. Now, back to the access rights. As per usual, the quick function menu will give us the option to change the user's position, which will change the default access rights the individual has. In the event that things change or we forget to add a time limit on the user's access to the project when we invited them, we can do so now. And lastly, we're also given the option of deleting the user completely from the project. Going through the access rights for a user, we can always grant, limit, or revoke the access to specific elements for the project. Under the user's profile image and position are two icons: Files and Documents icon and a lock, which represents the sensitive information icon. The numbers associated with each icon will tell us the number of items a user has access to. When it comes to sensitive information, it gets really easy. We either do or do not have the right to view them. And we're also unable to edit or change them as well. And going back, we can see that the number of sensitive materials our line producer is now able to see is going to be 5 items. And moving on to Files and Documents, we have the option of granting the user the right to view all the rooms, give them writing access to all the rooms, or revoke their access to all rooms. But we can also just go down the list and configure these rights individually. For instance, we can grant them access to one room while limiting the others. Or we can give them permission to edit in one room while only giving them access to view in the other rooms. And again, as previously mentioned in the crew list tutorial, if we select a user under the crew list section, we can always go and change their access rights from within their profile as well. And just to note, external contacts will not have access rights to our project. And this was an in-depth look at Yamdu's access rights features. If you haven't already, check out our previous tutorial to get more information on topic-specific features. We'll see you in the next video.